Alright, I'm Kelvin Buchert from Gladstone Access Television, and I'm here with Robin Richardson today, and we're just going to talk a bit about the Big Grass Community Foundation. And before we do that, I'd just like to give Robin the opportunity to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about himself, why we should listen to him when he talks with the Big Grass Foundation.
That may take quite a while to convince people of that. But I have a very credible board, so we rely on their credibility when it comes to the Big Grass Community Foundation. Retired school teacher from the Gladstone, Plymouth, Slangruth, Austin area. Mm-hmm. And a few years ago, the community of Gladstone received a gift from Murray McClure, his estate. And the mayor at the time, Catherine Smith, chose to, and the council with her, decided they didn't want the money spent all at once from this gift, so they decided a way to keep the money producing benefit to the community was to establish a community foundation. There are community foundations around us, south of us, east of us. We have not had one for our area before we set this up about 10 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. So what's so special about this community foundation? Is it different from other charities, or what would make it unique?
Yeah. Well, I think the unique thing about community foundations is that it's one of the few ways that money stays in the community where a donation is made. There are many worthwhile charities, and money oftentimes travels for research or for places, important charities outside of the area. But when people make a donation to a community foundation, it stays in that community forever. The benefit stays there forever. I think the other aspect is that oftentimes charities are specific to a particular cause or a particular group. Community foundations are just that. They're community-based, so the benefit is shared by a wide swath, if you like, of the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I was in Plymouth, say, and I donated to this foundation, would I be just giving money to Gladstone, or would this benefit Plymouth as well?
Well, that's a very important question. When we set up the community foundation with that initial grant, we decided that we should have a fund for each separate community because people would be feeling that money invested in their own community, a specific community, rather than the general whole. So there is a community fund for Plymouth, and one for Gladstone, and one for Langruth, one for Westburn.
Okay.
And there are, in addition to that, other funds as well. For example, the Gladstone Cemetery has a fund. There are some. There's a big fund is the Langruth Legion Fund.
Okay.
The Langruth Legion, when it folded at the end of the day, they turned a significant portion of their assets into the community foundation as a lump sum, and so we have increased our assets with their contribution, and they also shared with us some of their board members who sit on our foundation board now.
Okay.
So yes, there are different community areas and also different interest areas that people can contribute to, specific to what they are interested in supporting themselves. We have just opened up two new funds for some of the cemeteries in the Langruth Lakeland area, and these will be opened up within the next week or two.
Oh, very good. So this amalgamation that happened, this would not have affected the foundation at all, really?
Actually, we were ahead of the game. When we set up the community foundation, at that time there was a community of Gladstone and the RM of Westburn. And when we set that up, we thought, well, this would be the geographical area that we would cover. But some of us, many of us on the board have, including myself, have connections with the Langruth and Lakeland area. And so we approached the municipality there, and they decided to join the foundation at that time, preceding the amalgamation by a decade. So when the amalgamation took place, we were actually already dealing with that full geographic area.
Very good.
Very good indeed.
Yes. So what is this foundation not able to support?
We are not allowed to support any religious body or religious function or church.
Okay.
We are not allowed to support any political party or be active in any political way.
Okay.
This is meant to be community-based.
Okay.
So apart from church, religious bodies, or political bodies, we are pretty much free.
Very
Our
good.
particular community foundation's mandate is to support things within our specific geographical area. So if we get a request from some organization in Toronto, we usually we decline because our interests are here.
Okay, very good. And so how did this all get started? You've touched on this a bit before already, but would you like to get into more detail how this all got started? And
Well, Marie McClure, as I mentioned, left a considerable amount of money to the town of Gladstone, and $50,000 of that was earmarked as a starting fund for the Big Grass Community Foundation. And that was our start. In addition to that, the town of Gladstone and the RM of Westburn Lakeview, they contributed some startup dollars to deal with the legal costs and the organizational costs at the very beginning, a couple of $1,000s in total. And from there, we went out and did a number of public meetings, which were attended by some representatives from each of the communities, and then waited. And our philosophy is, generally speaking, not to try to press people for donations, but we are there for support. And we have grown significantly from $50,000 up to our current, which I don't know off the top because I'm not the treasurer, but I'm thinking in the neighborhood of $250,000.
very good. It's very exciting.
Or more. Mm-hmm.
So what would be the board member community representatives that you would have on your board? Like, does each area have its own rep?
Yes, the municipality and town of the day allowed me to choose people who would be, I thought, community-minded and supportive of the foundation, and also were willing to speak up and offer critical points, critical ideas, and yet be willing to compromise with decisions. So most of our decisions are unanimous after discussion. At the end of the day, now we started off with an original board, and that board has stayed the same. Members have renewed their membership on the board and continued on, so we have not lost any board members.
Okay.
But we have additional 3 members that came with the funds from the Langworth Legion when it folded into our organization, and that was like Barry Arksey and Wayne Gardner and Jim Bohm.
Okay.
Now those were the additional board members that have been added to the original board of 7, which would include Wendy Dembo from Plymouth, Bob Clark, Sharon Brookine, and Ken Kimley, who's the treasurer. Sharon is the secretary of the organization. And from Langruth, the original board member was Jim Oliver, and he's still on the board, of course. And from Westburn is Lisa Sneesby.
Okay.
So we have people who are community-centered, community-focused. Even when they have moved out of the community, they still have strong roots in the community, and we feel that they still can speak for the community because they have family, friends, connections.
How does someone end up on the board of the Big Grass Community Foundation?
We have basically not changed our board other than the addition of those 3 members.
Okay.
The nominating committee is the municipality,
Okay.
and so we have a rotating schedule. So that board members are rotating. We have a joke that the only way off, well, you don't want to know that part. These are 4-year terms, but all of our original members have stayed on the board, in addition to the 3 new ones from the Langworth Legion.
Very good.
Yeah.
So how did you decide on the name Big Grass?
Well, I think you touched on that earlier, Calvin, when you mentioned that. Is there a Plymouth fund for Plymouth money?
Yeah.
We felt that the integrity of each of the supporting communities should be honored. So we would not be appropriate to call it the Gladstone Foundation or the Plymouth Foundation. We looked around and we saw that the Big Grass Marsh north of here is somewhat geographically centered to Langruth, Plymouth, Gladstone.
Okay.
And and it's a name that really no community can say is theirs exclusively. So we felt that it was a way of focusing on an area rather than on a specific community.
Okay. So you have any connection with any other foundations or private foundations or anything like that?
Yeah, well, we do, because the Big Grass Community Foundation is a member of a national organization, the Community Foundations of Canada.
Okay.
And we are members of that organization, which represents some 190 community foundations of Canada. Manitoba has the largest number of community foundations of any province, to the best of my knowledge, and ours is one of the newer ones, but not the most recent. So we are connected to the Community Foundations of Canada that offer guidance, advice, problem solving, and some support as needed. We also have informal connections with some other of the private, if you like, foundations in Manitoba. The very famous Winnipeg Foundation,
Okay.
the very famous Thomas Sill Foundation, both of Winnipeg, and both huge foundations that we can contact for assistance or support or advice. Generally, in the past, they've been very cooperative and helpful to us. So we're not alone out here.
Very good. Yeah, and a lot of times it's very beneficial not to be alone.
Yes, and to have the expertise of these large foundations, and the Community Foundations of Canada have a permanent staff, and they know so much.
Very good. So what projects are you working on right now? Would you like to fill us in on some of those?
Our big one this year has been a challenge from one of those foundations, the Thomas Sill Foundation. They sent an email out to our community foundation last year challenging us to raise up to $50,000.
Okay.
Which is a huge sum, and at first I thought this is beyond possibility for us. The minimum amount to be raised was $10,000, and I was even wondering whether we would actually be able to raise that amount of money in order to meet their challenge and receive a matching grant of 50% on anything up to $50,000. So we needed that original $10,000, and we had some initial support from organizations in the community, the RM of Westburn, Westlake Gladstone, also from the Legion Auxiliary up in Plumas. The Pine Creek Players contributed their profits from one of their productions last year, and also the community halls donated back their portion of the profits from that production as well. So this all helped to boost us towards our $10,000 mark. At this point, we are past 10,000 and past 20, and I believe that we are past 25 and maybe even approaching $30,000, which would be matched by half, 50%. If, for example, if we are at 30,000, and I don't have those numbers right on me, we would be picking up $15,000 from the Thomas Sill Foundation in Winnipeg to add to our assets. Huge, huge. This is by far the best opportunity for money raising that we have had in our 11-year history. And the Thomas Sill Foundation has been instrumental in giving us this boost. And we still have a little room left.
What about Agrium CPS?
That was the biggest single donation for this Thomas Sill Challenge. CPS and Agrium, basically one corporation. CPS is the local establishment. We filled out an application, really just a wild shot to see if we could get some support, and they gave us $5,000 towards this grant, towards this challenge, which is huge.
Yeah.
And of course, that $5,000 becomes $7,500 with the Thomas Sill matching funds. So we're very grateful to Crop Production Services and Agrium for that kind of support. We just recently got some photographs and wrote up an article for the banner. So we're hoping in the next couple of weeks that there may be even an article coming out really acknowledging CPS for the support. Support.
So, you think you'll get to 50,000 yet?
We have a little bit of time until October the 9th, I believe, is the deadline. We were allowed 18 months. The big move came immediately after we sent out a letter to the full community, all of the post offices in the community, and we were very surprised and very appreciative of the huge response. that we got that have really boosted our assets, and of course the matching funds. Most of the funds normally outside of this challenge come from smaller donations, many small donations. For example, people who want to celebrate a birthday but don't want a gift will oftentimes make a donation, and we send out an acknowledgement to them so that there's a gift in kind, if you like.
Okay.
Also, some funeral announcements mention our organization as a place to make a contribution in lieu of flowers, and we make sure that the family hears of this and receives a document to show. So a lot of our donations are smaller routine donations, but every dollar helps, and of course as our assets build, we're able to give more money back into the community, and we do every year with grants. We make our grants in May, I should say. We make our grants in May, and distribute the money shortly after May as finances become available. And we give out in the neighborhood of $6,000 or $7,000 or more a year in this last couple of years.
So you only do grants annually?
Yes.
Okay. And say if I wanted to apply for a grant, I was an interested organization, I wanted a grant, how would I go about doing that?
Yes. We do an ad in the Banner newspaper. I believe there's one in the Portage paper as well. And that invites people to apply for grants. Mostly people who have received grants, or organizations that have received grants in the past, they seem to know where we are, and will oftentimes send a thank you note and a reapplication at the same time. And so they're ongoing grants. An example, for example, would be in town would be the museum, the Gladstone District Museum,
yes.
Which has received grants for a number of years. Some of them are routine. The new daycare building that is being proposed in town has received a number of grants over a number of years. Curling club, golf course, skateboard park, up in Langruth, the hall, and I think there was a homecoming at one point that we contributed to, fair, agricultural fair in Plumas, the curling rink, skating rink, the hall, senior center this year. Wow. Westburn Hall.
Yeah.
So we try to spread the dollars out, and as you can see, it is community based as opposed to political or religious.
Yeah.
A lot of organizations, some of these grants are smaller, $100, but $100 makes a difference. One new example will be a memorial garden up in Plumas, and I think they're wanting to move from annual plants towards perennials. And I believe we have granted this year some funds to help make that happen. This is not a huge amount of money, but it does make a difference. And that's what we really want to do with our community foundation, is use the funds, the money that's earned from the funds, invest it back into the community in a way that makes a difference. Another way we make a difference, Calvin, is that we also give out some scholarship bursaries. One scholarship and 2 bursaries at the high school graduation each year. And again, these help our young people move ahead with education or with other careers. So we have a wide variety. The cemeteries up in Langruth, as well as the one here in town. We have a lot of clients, if you like, that we try to support because it is community-wide. So back to your question, you would be able to apply to us from an organization, and we would take it to the board and consider that organization for a grant. We are only allowed to give money to directly to a community organization that has a tax charitable status certificate, or a government office, for example, the Pine Creek School Division or the municipality, and money would flow through in that category back to the organization. So I think we made a difference, and I think because the principle will be here forever and ever, the money will continue to make a difference forever and ever in the community, long after the board changes.
Yeah. So the principal is never given out. It's just the interest and the investment earnings on the
That's right.
money is paid out.
That's right.
Very good.
That is one of the conditions of community foundations, is that the principal donations are made, the principal is held. We call it in perpetuity, forever.
Yeah.
And that money continues to make a difference in the community forever.
Very good. So if I was looking to make a donation to the Big Grass Foundation, what would be the ways I could do that? So if I wanted to make it in memory of my grandfather, or if I just wanted to make a general donation.
Certainly could go online, type in Big Grass Community Foundation, there would be direction there. You certainly could look at contacting any of the board members who we mentioned, and certainly those people would be able to direct a donation. This last weekend, we received $3,000 in donations in one evening, which is quite incredible. So people are able to contact board members who understand how the foundation works, present that local support, because they know the people, they know the needs. And really, that's the best way. Or phone myself and ask for information. Our box number is 497 Gladstone, and we certainly can accept donations there, and we send out charitable tax receipts.
Okay. So is there anything else we should know about the Big Grass Community Foundation that we missed during the interview?
I'm a believer, I have to tell you, with regard to foundations. I come from an urban area. I have enjoyed my life in the rural area, in Gladstone, Plymouth, Slangruth, and I think that this style, this lifestyle that we have here is truly a treasure. But we all know that population numbers are diminishing as farms get larger. We also know that there are fewer people to keep organizations running. There are two things that we require to maintain our way of life in a rural area. One is volunteer help, and the other is money. And although we don't actually do anything as a foundation other than hold assets and distribute the funds, that's the nature of foundations. That helps to solve one of those two functions of shortage of manpower help and shortage of funds. And that's something that I believe community foundations can do. By investing in a community foundation, what we are doing is setting the path to be able to maintain our community services, community lifestyle, if you like, a few dollars at a time.
Very good. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you, Calvin. It's been a pleasure.
Very good.